So I'm creating a course on goal setting in general and actually accomplishing our goals. And it's funny because I feel like an outsider a lot of the time because notoriously I've been terrible at setting goals actually in life. And this is why I got so fed up and started to robify and started doing all this stuff and being very segmental about life. But the first video that I made was about 8 minutes or so. I think it should be uploaded already. The first thing that you should do in order to accomplish your goals is accrue a network of wise people, a network of people that have opportunities, that have expertise, that have the ability to advise you, that expand your awareness, that have assets, physical wealth in life, that know how to partner and create a team through, and that will help you grow. That's a synopsis of an 8-minute video. The next thing I thought would be your vision. Now I'm looking at this thing right there, this big piece of cardboard that I drew some shit on. But the vision actually, I believe, should not be the second thing. In fact, there's a lot of people that are particularly productive online that are saying that the why doesn't even matter as much. In terms of actually achieving your goals, the why doesn't matter as much, which is a shock to me because those same people said the why matters a lot. And I genuinely believe, as a leader, as someone that cares about the deeper things in life, that the why matters a lot. And the vision of your far sight, your strategy, I believe matters significantly in actually staying in the race. But so do habits. So does things that are just kind of rote. So does keeping a journal every day. Like just consistency. That matters just as much. In fact, I could understand that it could matter more in the sense that without it, we just don't make progress. So the second thing I think is very, very important is actually setting your time frame straight. Like what is reasonably achievable in a certain time frame. And the example that I immediately go to, because I built a lot of student organizations that kind of failed in school. Well, failed is perspective. In my opinion, they could have done much better, made a much larger impact, had I had my shit together, which I am constantly gathering. Time frame is very important because if we have, for instance, 4 years to make an organization in school, then to expect that in that 4 years you will fundamentally change the culture of your entire college is kind of silly. But if that is your goal, then you will spend a lot more energy, we will spend a lot more time, a lot more succinct steps will be taken to actually try to accomplish that goal. And I always say set goals that are kind of obnoxious. Set goals that are a lot bigger than you think you can accomplish, because oftentimes we are better than we think we are. Oftentimes we are more effective than we think we are. It's just kind of unlocking certain parts of ourselves, unhinging certain parts of ourselves. So time frame matters because it tells us the amount of progress we need to make in what society determines is a period of our lives. And the reason I'm saying society is because time is kind of a human concept for the most part, I believe. I don't think animals exist in like time frames really. It's just kind of like a feeling and just kind of go about their motion. Plants a lot like that. Days in general, they seem to repeat a lot. Well, all the trends, but time for humans matters because we know that we live only a certain amount of years on this planet. So I'll go into my breakdown of time frame for Terabify. So in the next 20 years, I want to affect the world's vision of emotional intelligence. Will I be able to do that by making a video every day? Maybe, to a small scale. But what I really need to focus on is, okay, if I have 20 years, what do I need to accrue in the first 5 years? What knowledge do I need to get in the first 5 years to accelerate myself in the next 15? So, time frame being 5 years as a breakdown for the 20 years. In 5 years, I want to figure out how to manage and scale a business. In 5 years' time, I need to be a master business creator and scaler, meaning that mostly the top line, the gross income that a company that I own makes, I want to be able to maximize that and hire the most amount of people and have the most amount of interactions that are efficient. How do I do that within 5 years? Well, I have a dental practice. Luckily, I've been given parts of control over it, sure. But I also have Terabify, right? I also have the team that's working kind of behind the scenes here for the next 6 months at least. And I need to figure out kind of what augmentations I need to make to this team, or if I need to get rid of this team altogether and get another team. All of these little steps are going to teach me, fine, their people interact a certain way. I need to pay people a certain amount. I need to have systems in place that will be the most efficient for new people coming in and for old people to keep track of whether or not they've hit the bar. And the most important thing to me, because I have been a cultural engineer for many, many years, is really how people are feeling when they're a part of a system that I create or that I'm responsible for. I believe that if happy people exist in a system, the system is more effective, more efficient. If happy organisms, if satisfied organisms exist in a system, they're more satisfied. So my 5-year time frame is to get the knowledge in my head and get the skills and the discipline together to be an effective creator of companies. And that is because the skill set is then universally applicable. Meaning I can lose my entire net worth, I can lose everything that I own, and still I will have the knowledge and the self-worth to be able to build something from scratch. Now, when we get to the scale that I'm talking about for Terabify, I want to affect the world. Okay, fine. Can dentistry, a business that is located locally, affect the world? It depends. How do I intend to affect my local community? Now, I had a lot of philosophical discussions with my mentors about effect in general, but impact in general. And I basically came to the conclusion that any given person can affect the world. Right? Like not everyone's not supposed to be Elon Musk. Everyone's not supposed to be Jeff Bezos. Everyone's not supposed, because they're them, right? Gandhi, Muhammad, whatever. They're them. They're their own entities. And I think we try really hard to potentially model these people in life, but we have to realize the beauty in our own life in order to actually become those people for someone else. Incredibly fun process, difficult to do. But time frame is very, very important when it comes to setting your expectations, setting your priorities for life, for any sort of thing that you're going through. So I would say the first quarter of your time frame should really be building up the systems and building up the skills for maintenance. The reason is because you want to be able to plug stuff in place. I'm also building my advisory board. I'm building a team around me that can advise me on strategic decisions and also has the expertise to give me the advice that I need. This also comes with tremendous capital investment. This comes with tremendous trust and time investment. But putting these things up front, in my opinion, is much, much smarter than waiting later on for when you actually think you need them and you really do need them. The next part of the scale, the next part after getting all of your ignorance costs lowered, as Alex Hormozi would say it, I believe is actually just executing. So meaning utilizing those systems and setting goals. Utilizing those systems and setting larger and larger goals. And along the whole way, putting together an even larger and larger network. Because at some point in life, this is my genuine belief, there's only so much an individual can do. And the power that we accrue, the amount of influence that we have, will determine the type of people we attract. So the reason that I want to get my businesses scaled to a point where I make a significant sum of money and also have assets on my side is because I want to show people that I am actually useful, that my advice, that my philosophies on life aren't just some kind of flub bullshit, that they actually work in my life. That alone will provide the footing to go and sit on in masterminds, or to go and put together a group of particularly talented people, of particularly philosophical individuals that want to change things in their own right, working together, those partnerships. Grant Cardone says that partnerships are actually the first part of the business. That's why I said people first. But I believe the more we do, the more partnership opportunities we unlock. Part of the reason why I created the social media account is so that I can have access to cool people. I want to do that. It's kind of silly not to use social media for that purpose, in my opinion. So we get to a point here within 5 years where we know what we're about, we know what we're capable of. Then we have the stretch of actually expanding to a global scale. So this will come down to how strong I learn marketing, how strong I learn to entertain people, because Taravify is an entertainment company. It will come down to who I know, and it will come down to the opportunities that I've taken. Obviously, the work that I do, the consistency of the work that I do. But really, to get to a world level, I need to make enough income, I need to make enough for myself to sustain flights to different countries, to sustain networking opportunities that will expand my reach globally. That it's not just about the US, that it's about the world. And luckily, the team that I've built up already is a part of that global thing. And actually, I'm going to an NFT convention in New York to go and meet my mentor, Nizar. And from there, I will be also creating the NFT for the Taravify network, the NFTs for the Taravify network. I have a big vision about having these cool artworks that represent essentially golden tickets to special opportunities. I have a lot of ideas about using the metaverse to socialize, to make others feel connected. And that, to me, is going to be the switch over from this kind of worldly plane into a more spiritual kind of technological plane, which I believe will be much, much easier to start thinking at a global level, a kind of collected consciousness type of vibe. So the opportunities will open up, but I know that that after that 5 year mark, after I figure out how to do things locally, I will be expanding globally. Then comes another probably 10 years of building out the business strategies, building out probably a brand new business, or buying businesses that are worth 5 to 10 times more than what I have currently invested into my dentistry business / the Taravify thing. When the capital starts coming along, when the ball starts rolling, when I have people around, then I can start making incredibly risky decisions, which I believe will be an interesting contrast in life, and a very, very necessary part of my progression, I believe, as an individual. Because after these 20 years, I believe I will be exhausted. I will be genuinely, genuinely exhausted. In some ways. I believe that a part of me will have to be stowed away for a little while in order to actualize these dreams. And I think it'll be time to become the monk that I want to become. A lot of thoughts. But this kind of, hopefully this shows that the time frame of 20 years gives me a lot of inspiration. It gives me a lot of bigger things to eat. Like bigger goals to tackle, bigger philosophies to unwrap, unwind. Because without the time frame, without an awareness of time in the human sense, I think a lot of us end up thinking that we can just do this stuff later. And a lot of us end up thinking that life will just continue to go by and that we will wake up tomorrow. And I think it's very entitled to believe that this life isn't finite, that we are somehow going to live forever. Let alone, I don't think anyone really wants to live forever, because I don't know anyone that has. And life is beautiful because of its finite nature, I believe. So, food for thought and time frame. The last part of the video I flubbed a little, you see? So the time frame to me, for instance, for a student organization for 4 years, and sorry for rambling, but hopefully this is interesting to you. The 4 years, the reason that a lot more, when we're at the start of it, that a lot more energy needs to go into what we're doing in the first quarter is because we are closer to that. We're closer to that reality. So the doors that are available to us are at least in our conception. It becomes more and more difficult to plan further out because we don't even know what we don't know. That's why it's so important to get to a point where the doors that we think we need, we at least have access to. People's first, time frame second. Next video, I'll probably talk about the third thing, the vision. If you found this interesting, please smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe, comment. Let me know if my 20-year plan is crazy. Let me know if you think I can do it. And then check out this video where I talk about, this is an old one actually that I made about vision, probably. Actualize your potential, catalyst. This world needs you. Take care.